Hey folks, welcome back to another guitar lesson tutorial. This is the song On the Lips by JD McPherson from his Undivided Heart and Soul album. It's a really cool song to learn. It teaches us about what can be done with a major scale in a really almost minor sounding way. It's a fairly simple song, and because the song is mostly driven by the bass, you as a guitar player really only have a couple things to worry about. And that's going to be the kind of intro riff and some more distorted chord work a little bit later on. So to start the song, we want to make sure that our fingers are muting the strings, and we're going to give pretty much a count off. And we're going to do an up and down rake. We're going to do that 4 times. So that's going to help us establish the time and tempo we're playing in if we're playing with other musicians. And it really just sounds cool if you have a lot of reverb on, because you get to hear some of those reverb trails playing as well. The first note we're going to land on after that is a G. So that's going to be the 3rd fret of our low E string. And in this first section, we're going to start there, 3rd fret on a low E string. And we're going to follow that by going to the 3rd fret on our A string. From there, we're going to drop down to the 2nd fret of the A string, and then back up to the open E string. So when you put that all together, it should sound like this. Following that open E string, we are going to do the open A string, land on the 2nd fret of the A string, back to open on the A string, back to open on the low E string, and then back to our G, that 3rd fret on the E string. So that 2nd portion should sound like this. When we put those together, we have really the first half of this riff. So it's going to sound something like this. Once we get that first half of the riff down, just as a reminder, that's going to sound something like this. We're going to head into the second part of the riff, which starts once again at the 3rd fret on the A string. And this one gets a little more complex. So we're going to go from that 3rd fret down to the 2nd fret. And then we're going to want to bar our finger down to get that 2nd fret of the D string. After the 2nd fret of the D string, we're going to lift up and hit that D string open. And then go back to the 2nd fret on the A string. So that should sound something like this. Once again. And after that, we are going to hit the A string open, A string at the 2nd fret, A string at the 3rd fret, open D string, and then land back on the G, that low E string 3rd fret. So if we combine that 2nd part, what we're going to be looking at is this. Now, once we have everything together, if we put it all together, it's going to sound like this. Perfect. Now that part will be played a few times during the song. Like we said, it's mostly driven by the bass. So you want to work on getting that part down really well. And the only other big part you're going to worry about is the chord work, which is really just a simple form of what I think is C minor, and that's going to be your first finger on the 3rd fret of the high E, second finger on the 4th fret of the B string, 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the G string. It's going to look something like this. And now, usually after JD McPherson ends with the word lips, we hear him play a strummed version of this. But about halfway through, he's going to put his pinky down on the 5th fret on the high E string to really add that tension. So we'll hear something like this. And that's the other main part you need to know. So we have our really drippy surf rock intro. We have our chord with the modification there of the pinky, and the rest of the song is really letting the bassist and the drummer do the work and making sure that you get all the notes correctly. If you're having trouble nailing the riff, I would suggest really working on it with different types of positioning. So I like to land on my 3rd finger here for that low G. Some folks I've seen play it with their 2nd. I have no idea how JD McPherson plays it. But really, it's a good practice to think about doing it different ways than what comes natural, to find the most comfortable way of playing it, where it's easy to alternate between the strings, to bar down on the notes that you'll need to hit that are the alternating notes, and really to get the sound and the feel of the song. Another thing or key suggestion I would have is be sure that maybe practice with a metronome, especially when you're doing your count off. I'm sure mine is not that great on this recording, but you want to make sure that you are keeping the same time in the count off as you are in the riff and in the chord work as well. It's time for songs like this where you have very simple guitar work. You want to make sure that you are really nailing your timing, nailing your feel, nailing your playing, so that you are doing your part in a small band. Tone-wise, JD McPherson is known for playing Gretsch-style guitars with Filtertrons. I think the one he has is made by TK Smith. He also plays a lot of Telecasters. I was playing on the bridge position here today with my Nocaster. For the reverb sound, I know that JD uses a Dr. Scientist reverberator pedal, and based on the setting, I think it's a plate setting. So I use the plate setting on a Strymon Flint, and a little bit of spring reverb from the tweed side of my Tone King Imperial. So JD plays mostly tweed amps that I've seen and uses the plate reverb setting. So that might get you a close sound. You're gonna wanna crank that reverb up to get the drip and make sure that it really sounds like that surfy sound that we all love from this song. So another quick little tip is going to be understanding your C major scale. If you want to maybe take this song and build on it, write your own riff around this, take it as inspiration. It's really straight out of the C major scale here. So in that position, we always want to start on our tonic, which is going to be the C note here on the 3rd fret. And so it's a good practice to just run this scale up and down to know where some of the other note choices you could have are if you wanted to solo, add a solo to the song, or really change it up. You're going to start on your C, so that's going to be the 3rd fret on the A string here. You're going to hit the open D string, hit fret 2, 3rd fret, open on the G, then you're going to want to actually go to the 2nd fret, open on the B, 1st fret, 3rd fret, open on the E, 1st fret, 3rd fret, and then we want to walk it back down. Back to the 1st, open on the B, 3 on the B, 1 on the B, open, 2nd on the G, open, 3rd on the D, 2nd on the D, open, 3rd on the A, 2nd on the A, open, 3rd on the E, 1 on the E, open. And I recommend landing back on the tonic, so we're going to walk back up to the C. And leveraging that scale will just kind of help you build out what you're working on around this song. Hope this has been helpful. If I got anything wrong or my hearing is off, please comment below. Tell me the modifications so that I can fix it as well. But thanks for tuning in, and until next time.